Jay Shetty is a former monk and motivational speaker who's followed by over 20 million people worldwide. He went from being bullied as a child for being overweight and nerdy to living as a monk across India and Europe and becoming one of the internet's biggest celebrities. And today we're going to learn his best advice on how to unweed your garden. Rise and shine, it's espresso time.
I wake up every morning.
Espresso keep me going.
I wake up every morning.
Hey, it's Evan Carmichael, and every morning I bring you a shot of espresso to help you believe in yourself more and start your day with confidence. So good morning, I believe in you, and let's do this. Over to you, Jay Shetty.
Every morning I sit and I look at my intentions to do anything. So whether there's a new deal on the table or there's a speaking gig that I've been invited to do or whatever it may be. And in your life, it can be anything, whether you're starting a new business, you're writing a book, it may even just be an Instagram post for whatever it is. And I look at whatever my options are and I ask myself, which ones of these is a seed and which ones of these is a weed? Right. Because the incredible thing in our garden is that weeds end up looking like seeds and can confuse you.
100%.
So often that thing that's giving you ego and pride and fame and control and power looks like it's amazing.
Right.
But actually it's just strangling you.
100%.
So every day what I'll do is I'll look at the garden of my life and I will try and unweed my garden. So I'll look at everything and be like, why am I doing that? And ask myself, why am I doing that? And if the answer is not love, compassion, empathy, growth,
right,
personal push, sacrifice, service. If the answer is the opposite, greed, money, power, fame, if those are my reasons,
right,
then I have to take that weed out.
100%.
I have to pull it out because if I don't pull it out, that weed's gonna keep growing.
Right.
And one day it's gonna be so big,
right,
that I wouldn't even have seen it.
You are what you think about all day long. If you think that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that it's never gonna work, then you're right. And if you think that you are capable, that you can do it, that it will ultimately work out, then you're also right. The question is, which thoughts will you spend all your day thinking about? So the biggest thing that's been a weed in my garden has been the fear of disappointing people. I'm afraid of disappointing people. It's still my number one fear. It's always been my number one fear. And it used to handicap me a lot more than it does right now, but it's still there. It still exists. The unweeding process is something that has to be done consistently because the weeds keep coming back. I'm afraid that I'm gonna make this video and nobody's gonna watch it. I'm afraid that people are gonna watch it and you're not gonna like it. I'm afraid that you're gonna pick up my book, Built to Serve, and trash it and hate it and say it's the worst thing you ever read. I'm afraid that you're gonna spend money to go to an event that I'm speaking at and you're gonna be disappointed and say it was a waste of time. I constantly have these thoughts in my head, and the thing that I'm maybe most proud of is being able to handle those thoughts, recognize them for what they are, pull them out of my brain and go and do it and act, because those ideas and whatever they are for you, they keep you small. If I kept thinking like that, I would have never made my first video. I wouldn't have this business. I wouldn't have this impact. I wouldn't be talking to you. We wouldn't know each other. You wouldn't be subscribed to this channel. I'm sure you'd get it somewhere else, but not exactly like we can deliver, because this is Believe Nation and it's something special, right? None of this would have happened. I'd be living a shell of what I could be. And that's what I want for you as well. To recognize the chatter in your head that is keeping you small, that is preventing you from going off and building something amazing, because you know you're capable of more. Deep down, even if you're a super high achiever, you know you're capable of more. You know that this version of you right now is not the best you can be. That you might be working really hard, but you're letting yourself off the hook too easily for things. You're not pushing as hard as you could. You're not being as productive with your time. Doesn't mean you have to wake up at 4 in the morning every day and get to work. Even just look at the time you're spending right now while you're awake and see how productive you are. There's room for improvement, right? For me, for you, for everybody. And so that's the constant game, to recognize the weeds in our head, the weeds in our garden, recognize for what they are. Stop convincing ourselves that we can't do something because of this excuse that we've made up, this reason that our friends and family have told us that we are capable. We just need to rip out that weed and get to work. Now, I've got a 3-step process that I use to get over my fear of disappointing people that I think would be really helpful for you as well. But before that, a special message from Jay.
Hey everyone, I have been reading a bit from my friend's book, Evan Carmichael, Built to Serve, and I wanted to share this with you. So, according to a study by Carnegie Mellon University, people with supportive spouses are more likely to give themselves the chance to succeed. They studied 163 married couples and found that people with supportive spouses were more likely to take on potentially rewarding challenges. Those who accepted challenges experienced more personal growth, happiness, and psychological well-being. Now, I can truly say that I've experienced that in my life. When I first met my wife, I was just starting out. I had never released a video. I hadn't created any content, and she was such an important part of feeling supported on that journey. So whether you're in a relationship, whether you're dating, whether you're married, or even if you're single, being supported by friends and a strong community is important. Built to Serve by Ellen Carmichael. Great book on how you can find your purpose, and also on reminding us that we can all make a difference in the world. Thanks, Evan.
Okay, so how do you do it? How do you unweed the garden? How did I shift from always being afraid of disappointing people to actually taking action? 3 steps, let's go. Step number 1 is shift to service. One of the greatest things that helps me is reminding myself that what I'm doing is of service to others. That I'm not just here to talk into a camera for myself and have this video I can watch back, right? It's of service. At least that's the intention. Whether it hits, a million people or 4, hopefully it's having an impact on at least 4 people. It's of service. And I remember being backstage at a giant event and I was panicking and I blanked out and I just looked behind the curtain at the audience and I reminded myself, I have to do this a lot, to be honest, when I'm speaking at big events. I look at the audience and I remind myself, I'm here for them. I'm here to bring value to them, that I know things that they don't know yet because of the experience that I've had and gone through. And I'm here to go and help them, that it's not even about me. To get out of my head, because the fear of disappointing, the fear of letting people down is very selfish. Where stop being selfish and go serve. And every time I switch to service, every time I switch to I'm here to help somebody, that I have a message that can mean something, it gives me more courage. It gives me more boldness. It helps me get out of my own way, and it gives me the momentum I need to actually take action. So shift to service. Number 2 is you do difficult things. I remind myself that I do difficult things. The fact that I think that it's difficult, I have scary, difficult, or hard, right? If I say any of those 3 things, then I have to do it. The fact that I'm thinking about something as it being difficult is not a good enough reason. Think about why you're not doing the thing that you want to be doing. Is it because it's difficult, because it's scary, or because it's hard? If those are the words that are coming out of your mouth or that you're writing down, telling friends, or whatever the reasons are, if that's coming out, then you have to do it. Just because you don't want to teach yourself that you come up against scary, you come up against difficult, you come up against hard, and you play small. Even if it has nothing to do with your ultimate goal and ambitions. You train yourself. This is one of the greatest things I think that has helped me over the past decade, is training myself that I do difficult things. Whether it works out or not, whether I get a result or not, whether I end up winning or not, most times I don't win, but I'm proud that I showed up, that I did the difficult thing, that I tried my hardest on the difficult thing. That's where self-love, self-confidence, self-esteem, self-respect, all of it, that's where it comes from, by you doing difficult things. Every time you come up against something difficult and you let yourself off the hook for it, you lose some self-confidence, you lose some self-respect. If you've set a goal and then you didn't follow through because you had a tough day, the next time you set a goal, you might be motivated in the moment, but then you look at that goal the next day and say, I'm not going to do that. I can't do that. Look at all these other goals that I haven't done and haven't hit. You have no credibility with yourself. You don't believe yourself anymore because you've let yourself down too many times. That's the problem. That's the inside game that nobody talks about. And it's great to have friends and some people encourage you, but if you don't believe in yourself to go off and do it, it's not going to happen. And so that's where when you say you're going to do something, or when something is really difficult, you go off and you do it. You give it your best shot, and then you recognize yourself. You pat yourself on the back. Adopt that mindset that you do difficult things and your life will change. And then step number 3 is be around it 24/7. So whatever it is that you want more out of life, be around it always, constantly, every day, so that there's always some kind of reminder from your environment here to what's on your cell phone background, your computer background, reminders, notifications, videos that you're consuming. We're constantly being bombarded by information that doesn't actually even really help you that much. Think about how much time you spent consuming content on social media networks this week that haven't actually helped you. That's just been a waste of time. If you flipped and took some of that time to actually being intentional about what you're consuming, to say, I am watching this not because it's some gossip or some news thing that doesn't impact my life, but because I'm trying to get better, because I want to learn how to improve and change my life. Being intentional with your learning, being intentional with what you wear, being intentional with your office environment, being intentional with how you set up your morning routine, intentional with everything. If you did that, again, your life is going to change. Whatever you want more of, it needs to be constantly around you in your life. Right? There's a famous saying that if you want to learn Japanese, you go to Japan. You want to learn this new mindset? You want to learn and make that shift in your life? If you're around it once a week, it's not going to happen, right? If you learn Japanese from a textbook once a week, it's going to take you a long time to learn Japanese, and you'll never become fluent. You want to learn that mindset? You want to make that shift? You want to be around it every single day, 24/7, constantly. Now, I've got a really special bonus clip that I think you're going to enjoy. But before that, question of the day, I want to know, what is one simple shift you can make right now in your habits, in your routine, in your environment, something to help you remind yourself every day to play a bigger game? What is that one thing? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you made it this far and you're still watching, I want to celebrate you. Give me a hashtag Believe in the comments as well. Believe Nation, we don't just watch videos, we take action. So put hashtag Believe down below. I want to celebrate you.
Now guys, I don't know about you, but when you're trying to do the hard things, you have to look inwards and find a good why. Because if your why isn't strong enough, what's going to happen? When you hit a brick wall, when you fall on your face, when you're getting that call at 2 o'clock in the morning because you have to go and fix a problem with your business, you have to come back to that why. And so for me, my why started to evolve. I loved learning. And I went from feeling like I was somebody that was just waiting, that I was stagnant, to then all of a sudden, I could learn things, I could grow, I could build things, and it started to really stir something exciting inside me. And so because of that, I was able to push through things. And because of that, I was able to take myself from the hairnet to my very first office desk, to my very first team, to my very first shipping department, to 10,000 square feet, to 100,000 square feet, to an Inc. 500 entrepreneur.
If you want to see another monk, Dandapani's view on how to get wealthy, check out the video right there next to me. I think you'll enjoy it. Continue to believe, and I'll see you there.